शिव सुंदर सुहाना ज्ञान का विज्ञान वाला की दुआ विश्व भर की चेतना ऋषि खनिज बल विश्व भर की चेतना शोभित विज्ञान का परमार्थ सत्वर विश्व भर की चेतना सांस्कृतिक शुभ संपदा संयुक्त तपोवन चेहरा पथ पर विश्व कीर्ति विश्व विश्व भर की चेतना
Thank you all. Now we will have our traditional auspicious lamp lighting ceremony as a tribute to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge by our dignitaries. So please, I request all the dignitaries for lamp lighting.
ये वाला चालू कर दिया ऑन द स्पॉट चलिए राइट चल रहा है हां वो रीडिंग से कनेक्ट हो जाएंगे
Thank you everyone. Dear colleagues, we all are gathered here for 4 days teacher training workshop. This workshop Case Council. Now I invite Dr. Manmohan Lal Satnami, Associate in Chemistry, Pandit Ravi Shankar University, to welcome Dr. Apurva Barve, Coordinator, Center of Excellence in Science and Mathematics Education, ISER Pune. For floral welcome of our respected registrar, Mr. Dharmesh Kumar Sahu, I invite Dr. Suraj Bhutolia, Shri Ram Dev Baba College of Engineering and Management, Nagpur. Dr. Suraj Bhutolia. Thank you, sir. Now I invite Dr. Namita Rajput from Government Women Polytechnic College, Jabalpur, MP, to present a bouquet to the coordinator of the workshop, Professor Kallur Kumar Ghosh. Now I invite Dr. Prasanna Sharma, MIT University, Raipur, to present a bouquet to the coordinator of the workshop, Professor Sanjay Tiwari. So thank you everyone. Now moving forward, I invite Dr. Apurva Barve, Coordinator, Center for Excellence in Science and Mathematics Education, ISER Pune, for her opening remarks. Dr. Barve.
Thank you. I'm not going to take a lot of time. I just wanted to be here to say a big thank you to all the people who have made this possible. First and foremost, our big thanks go to Pandit Ravi Shankar University and their entire team, from Professor Pandey to the registrar, and most importantly, Dr. Kallur Ghosh and Dr. S.K. Tiwari, who have been working constantly and for the past at least 6 months to make this happen. We really wanted to have a workshop somewhere in central India, around this part of the country, and they have really extended all the help and support possible, which is why we are able to do this here. I will be talking a little more about this whole series of workshops, of which this is a part, this is one, but that will come a little later. I think the main reason that Professor L.S. Shashidhar, on whose behalf I am actually speaking here today, decided to do this workshop in Raipur is Dr. Kallur Ghosh. He had complete confidence that he will be able to manage all the arrangements required for such a large gathering of 160 people, at least staying here for 3 days and carrying out this workshop, which takes a lot of preparations for logistics, as I very well know because we do it all the time in ISER Pune. So thank you very much for all of your support, and of course this would not have been possible unless the Vice Chancellor, Professor S.K. Pandey, and the Registrar and the rest of the university setup was not behind them. So I think we should give a big round of applause for all of you involved. In addition, I would just like to mention all the other parties who have contributed in one way or the other to making this workshop possible. The workshop has been organized by the Center of Excellence where I work at ISER Pune, which is funded under under one of the schemes from the MHRD. And this we are doing in collaboration with the British Council under the Newton Bhabha Fund, which is an initiative of the UK government, where they help us bring expertise from the UK for exchange of ideas and training and human resource development and so on. So we thank you to British Council and the Newton Bhabha Fund, and Dr. Niranjan is here to represent them. And of course, our trainers who have come all the way from Sheffield Hallam University, you will of course get to know them much better in the next 3 days. So I will just say thanks to them and leave the introductions for later. And of course, to thank you very much to the Department of Biotechnology, because they are the ones who are funding the organization of the workshop in India. They are the ones who are enabling you to come here, paying for your travel and stay and so on. So due acknowledgement to them as well. I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk about why we are here. We are here to talk about pedagogy. And again, like I said, I'm speaking on behalf of Professor Shashitaram, who we hope that we'll be able to address the gathering on Skype either tomorrow or the day after. But his philosophy and his vision is clear that there is a very great need for orienting college teachers towards how science is being taught. Because the feeling is that till the BSc or even the first year and master's level, students tend to look at science as something which is fixed, something that is written in the textbook and that's static. And it's an information that we get from the textbook or from some website or some videos, and that's how science is. Till reaching almost the second year of MSc, students do not realize that science is a process, and there is a certain way in which it works. The way science progresses involves a very rigorous system and a process which is well accepted by scientists, and that is something that we need to orient our students to, which is why we thought we should have something of an orientation for or a workshop for teachers of undergraduate science and mathematics, so that they can in turn introduce this process of science and methods of science to their students at the UG, undergraduate and early postgraduate level. So I just want you I would encourage you to think of these 3 days of workshop in terms of pedagogy and not in terms of science. All of you are teaching science at the BSc and MSc level and know your physics and your chemistry and your biology really well. We really don't need to talk to you about that. What we would like to focus on is, rather than technical details of the chemistry or the physics, the way we are conveying it, the way it is being taught, that if we are able to, right now in this inaugural session, orient ourselves to thinking about in the next 3 days, the way science is taught, I think that's the main purpose of the inaugural or the orientation session here. And of course, Garrett will later introduce you to what we are going to be doing in the next 3 days. So that's what it would be great for us to think about. The focus here is on pedagogy and teaching of science rather than the technicalities of science. And we also hope that this kind of workshop is also an opportunity for all of you to come together and meet your peers and form networks. This is a great opportunity for professional development because you will get to meet teachers who are teaching similar courses in very varied parts of the country. I think the organizers have done a very nice thing by getting participants from different states to come up and meet us on stage. So we already get to see the kind of diversity, and I was told that there are 17 states of India being represented here today. So this is a very nice opportunity for you to interact with each other and share notes and compare the styles of teaching, curriculum, the kinds of problems that you have in the classroom, things that can be done to take science education forward, and so on and so forth. We also have a session on funding opportunities, particularly relevant to teachers like you. So we are hoping that you will also be able to make use of that. And I would just encourage you to talk to as many people as you can, not just other participants, but also the trainers and other people here, and make the best of the next 3 days that you are here. And finally, before I stop, I just want to thank all of you participants for taking the time off your very busy teaching and evaluation and exam schedules to be here with us today. I really hope that you will enjoy the next 3 days and get something useful out of it that you can then pass on to your students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhatt, for your remark and detailed information about the workshop. So, dear colleagues, we feel honored to have with us the checklist for today's program, Professor S.K. Pandit. I humbly request you, sir, to deliver the inaugural speech.
I am really very happy and privileged to be present on the inaugural function of a rather unusual kind of teacher training workshop, and that too being organized in this part of the country for the first time. And see, Dr. Barve has already given you an introduction of the nature of this workshop, and more will come from other speakers. Persons who are sitting on the dais include Dr. Gareth Price from UK, Dr. Devanjan Chakravarti, the Director, British Council, East and Northeast India, our registrar, Mr. Dharmesh Shahu, and our colleague, Dr. Kallol Ghosh and Sanjay Tiwari, who are involved in organizing this workshop, Dr. Uma Barve, who has been coordinating this event from ISET Pune, our resource persons who are sitting in the first row, my colleagues who are present here, all the participants who have come from different parts of the country, and invited guests. Needless to say that we live in the era of science. And if you remember what our first Prime Minister said about science and activities, its usefulness for the society, he had once said that future belongs to science and those who make friends with science. To say science, by default, should become a way of life in the era of science. And if you look at the history of science, right from the early dawn of civilization, and see how we have progressed, how we have come thus far, it's not an overnight journey. There are several individuals, there are several countries who have contributed to the growth of science. And if you, again, I would say that one should read the history of science to gauge how people have, right from early days, have worked by carrying out very careful observation, accumulation of data, and finding the rules which govern the nature, the world around us. And that has led to the tremendous growth of science. And see where have we achieved now. In the process, we must realize that the role of teacher has to change with the changing scenario in science. And even now we feel that there is a lot of gap between what we teach in our classroom, even in science, and what is the frontline research areas in different branches of science. Just to give an example, see, few days back, since October 2nd, there has been an announcement of Nobel Prize winners in physics, in chemistry, in medicine, and if you look at the area in which Nobel Prize has been awarded, and if you ask as a teacher, what we teach to our post-graduate students can we make a link, can we make a connection to what the Nobel Prize talks about? The question is, if not, what do we do so that we can make connect to the state-of-the-art research work that is going on in frontline areas? That is one thing. Second thing is, we began our journey in science, not in terms of what we call now as today's chemistry, but as what we used to call as natural sciences. I don't know in what category you would put Newton as. Would you call him a physicist, or optician, or a mathematician? That was altogether different area. Things have changed, and just we have made demarcations to begin with. Because this is something is part of physics. This is something which needs to be taught as a part of chemistry. Likewise for life sciences. And life sciences also has grown up in a number of areas. Now the scenario is changing. We are again trying to reunite them by redefining the role of teacher and researcher, by saying that time has come that we should be on communicating terms. We should network our teachers, our researchers, so that we can develop new areas of research in the so-called interdisciplinary areas, interdisciplinary research. Right? So we started the journey without knowing what we are talking about, what we are doing, just for the sake of it. Sake of discovering something new. Then we branched off, now we are again trying to unite them. So, if you take stock of the situation, we need to change ourselves, the way we teach our classroom, the way we do our research in research laboratories, theoretical or experimental. And therefore, in order that the message must be passed on to the youth, the way we profess science as a teacher or a researcher, we need to revise our not only teaching methodology but our research methodology too. So that is what I said in the beginning, that this teaching workshop this is with a difference. Earlier we used to organize workshop and we used to call it methodology of teaching. Then we used to organize training workshop or workshop conferences to teach them the methodology of research. Now this is a combination of both. Because there is a need of the hour. Unless we teach our young minds, right, our young minds whom we think is the future of our country, our world as a whole, we must connect them. The classroom teaching, the bookish work to the state of art in research areas in different fields, and more importantly, what is the new scope for doing interdisciplinary research? So that is the crux of the problem, and that is where we need to train our teachers, science teachers, especially aiming the youngsters, young teachers, new recruitees who are yet to start their career as a teacher and researcher. Let them be trained first, not only in promoting their own research, but also in promoting the way they teach. They should teach in the classroom. And one should not forget that we need to connect to our nation. Unless we take our students close to nature, there is no way we can develop creativity in them. And that is what Albert Einstein used to tell to the young students to whom he used to talk. And before I end, I would like to narrate what he used to say to young school children who he used to meet, and what he used to tell regarding the growth of knowledge, transfer of knowledge, and how it enriches our cultural heritage. Because there is nothing like local science. is a common heritage of the human race as a whole. So he used to say, bear in mind that wonderful things you learn in your schools are the work of many generations, produced by enthusiastic effort and infinite labor in every country of the world. All this is put into your hands as your inheritance, in order that you may receive it, honor it, and aid to it, and one day faithfully hand it to your children, that is future generation. If you always keep that in mind, you will find a meaning in life and work and acquire the right attitude towards other nations and ages. Now, this wordings which I am narrating from none other than Albert Einstein, has lot more than can be said in few words before you, right? So, not only we need to teach them what is science about in specific areas, we need to teach them how to move forward in research domain, because that is necessary for the growth of science. And this has to be passed on to next generation, so that the growth of science continues to get enriched by newer and newer areas of research. I hope that this workshop would provide you altogether different dimensions to your teaching and research domain. And I do hope that this is a rare opportunity that has been provided to you, my young friends, teachers who have come from different parts of the country, and I hope that you will make the optimal use of your time as a part of this few days, 6th to 9th, 5 days, this training program, because you are our rays of hope, because some of you, right, would be trained to a degree, to a level that when they plan for the second level workshop, you may be selected for that, and you could become a resource person, the way we have invited several resource persons from different parts of the world. So that is the need of our mind, my friends, because we need to care about the youth who come to us, who listen to us, who attend our classrooms. Let us give them the best that we can do as a teacher, as a researcher. And if you do this, I think not only you will feel happy within yourself, the students will gain much more than what you think you are giving them. With this word, I'm happy to inaugurate formally this training workshop with hope that these teachers, participants who have gathered here will find something new. And this they will carry forward to the places where they come from, not only to places that they come from, but also spread among their colleagues. I also take this opportunity to thank all those who are involved in this, arranging this, especially the British Council and ISER Pune for believing in us that we can hold this conference in our campus. And thank you very much. I hope all arrangements have been made properly. In case of any difficulty, please do let us know. We'll try to do our best. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us and enlightening us by your valuable address on this occasion. Now I invite Dr. Devanjan Chakravarti, Director, East and Northeast India British Council, for his welcome speech on behalf of the British Council.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much first, Professor Pandey, for saying those very kind words for us and for ISER Pune, and also Sheffield Hallam University It is very important for the British Council, and I think the other institutions involved in organizing this, to come to Raipur and many other such non-metropolitan centers of excellence and spread the core message of access and equity that must also underpin our quest for excellence in research and teaching. And to this, I would add my own personal journey. I come from a small town, which is a copper mining town. Part of my childhood growing up in that copper mining community was also spent not too far from here, in Malanchkhan. It was when I was in academics, and I am a lapsed academic, as you can probably make out. It was probably doubly difficult for me, coming from a small town and then going to Calcutta and then eventually to UK, where I did my PhD from in humanities, linguistics and media studies. One of the things that Dr. Barde mentioned was the importance of pedagogy. And in my professional work, which has largely been in the British Council, been based on pedagogy of teacher education and English language training and education, I think there are a lot of common things Dr. Barde touched upon, because I think content or domain expertise is one thing, but the ability to learn and the ability to ignite that curiosity that takes us on a long journey of self-discovery. Actually, any discipline, as we go further and further into any discipline, it's an exploration of discovery of the discipline, but also one's own self. I think a number of things are common, irrespective of the discipline. And those things include an ability to be very analytical, irrespective of the discipline you are studying. So I come broadly from a humanities background, but analytical skills are extremely important even in humanities, possibly and obviously even more so in the sciences. The second thing is obviously collaborative skills, and again reflecting back on my own academic journey, both here in India and in the UK, what really was a big difference, and I'm not making a value judgment here, is that in all my years in India as a student, from kindergarten to masters, and I was a reasonably good student, though not always the most disciplined, was that I was never ever asked to collaborate with my peer group. It was constantly competition against my peers, and this, I think, is a bit of a burden that I had to get rid of when I arrived in the UK for my doctoral studies, because there is a lot of stress on collaboration as you move further and further up in the education value chain. And I'm pretty sure that it's even more so in the sciences. And I have loads and loads of friends who are senior academics in sciences, and I know from anecdotal evidence that it is a fact. The third aspect, I think, is, you might be able to explore this in the next few days, is creativity. And I think creativity is at the heart of human endeavor, whether it's in the humanities, arts, or the sciences. And I think when we think of beautiful equations such as E is equal to mc squared, at its heart is tremendous creativity and simplicity and beauty. And I think this needs to be put before your students, our students, and the future generations. British Council, as you know, is UK's cultural relations organization. It builds friendly understanding between people of UK and other countries we work in this case India. This year, among the logos, you will see that there is a little logo next to British Council which says in UK Year of Culture. That stands for India UK Year of Culture 2017. This is a very special year for us, 2017. This Prime Minister Modi and then British Prime Minister Cameron had decided that 2017 will be a year of cultural and education exchange between India and the UK, and British Council is celebrating that for the UK in India. And we are trying to do three things through UK India Year of Culture. We want to celebrate existing connections, we want to create new connections, and we want to inspire the next generation of young people in both countries to engage and celebrate and connect with each other in the future. And I think this workshop, the Newton Power workshop with the focus on STEM, research-based pedagogical tools, does all three of that. And for that, I'm particularly thankful again to Pandit Ravishankar Shukla University, Vice Chancellor Professor Pandey, and all his colleagues for hosting this remarkable workshop. Newton Power is a fund that was created in the UK. In India, we have invested over £50 million for 5 years. We have reached 253 universities across India through this program. We have had an impact on over 3,000 teachers and over 50,000 students. And my colleague Purti tells me that we had 175 participants from 17 states, Dr. Barbie told us, and I think about 100 universities and institutions from all across India. I cannot think of a better way of celebrating UK Year of Culture and the immense history and tradition and creativity and knowledge that exists between our two countries, and celebrate all of this together. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a very productive 4 days of workshop. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful address. Now I invite coordinator of the workshop, Professor K. Ghosh, for his welcome speech on behalf of the local organizing committee. Professor Ghosh.
Honorable Vice Chancellor and the patron of this program, Professor S.K. Pandey sir, Dr. Devanjan Chakravarti, Director, East and Northern East part of India, most important, British Council, Dr. Gareth Price, sitting on the dais, and other distinguished mentors of this program, coming from Sheffield Hallam University, UK. One of the key persons of this workshop, for the last 6 months, we have been continuously contacting Dr. Apurva Barve, Coordinator, Center of Excellence in Science and Mathematics Education, ISER, Pune. Our dynamic registrar, Sri Dharmesh Kumar Sahu. Another coordinator, my good friend, Dr. Sanjay Tiwari, Dr. Arti Pargania, distinguished professor of this university, my dear colleague, and most important stakeholder of this important workshop, participant from 18 states of this beautiful country, from Assam to Kerala, and media friends, and my dear young aspiring mind volunteers of this university. I feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to welcome you all on behalf of Pandit Ravishankar Shukla University, one of the largest and oldest university of the central part of India. My dear young friends and my teacher friends, this is the first ever occasion that research-based pedagogy workshop is being organized in the central part of India. We are thankful to ISER Pune who have entrusted us with the responsibility to organize this unique, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor told, this unique workshop that is called, we all know, Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics, backbone of the higher education. STEM teacher training workshop to develop research pedagogical tools. In this occasion, I would like to thank, or I should say that we would like to express our heartfelt gratefulness to Professor L.S. Sasidhara, who is the director of this OSMI, and our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S.K. Pandey, for making this workshop possible. Please join me in giving big hand to these two great persons. In December 2017, when Professor Sasidhara visited our university for the Inspire camp, he expressed his desire. Within a fraction of a second, our Honorable Vice Chancellor gave his consent to hold this workshop in this university. The Newton Bhava Fund, British Council, ISAR Pune, Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Human Resource Development, and there is a special program. You all know that Pandit Madan Mohan, Himalayan National Mission for Teacher and Training. These all are the integral part of this workshop. We deem it a great honor to have Dr. Devanjan Chakravarti, Director of British Council, Dr. Gareth Price, and others, very distinguished faculty members among us. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all these distinguished guests to this university. I also welcome Dr. Apurva Varma and his team, particularly Dr. Silpa Jain and Madam Pusti. I take this opportunity to place on record our gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor. He is not only the patron of this university, he is our source of inspiration. He motivates us for such type of academic excellence and overall development of not only for the university, but whole Chhattisgarh state. We look forward, because now it's a A-grade university, you all know. We look forward to the university rising to new heights under his very dynamic leadership. I also welcome our dynamic registrar, because all the logistic arrangements, cleanliness, transportation, scientific session, he is always with us from morning to night. All the stakeholders are really concerned about this. You all know, we are all teachers. We all are concerned about the quality of the teaching and research orientation. Though research is how science is done, but it is frequently not the way science is taught. Teacher's role is more of a facilitator, helping students refine their research to overcome obstacles in their industries. That is the most important objective of this type of workshop, research orientation. It is hoped that this prestigious event, we have sent large number of emails. You might have received my emails, Sanjay Tiwari's emails, other emails from the ISAR email. We have tried to collect large number of participants. I do not know the actual data now, but we have selected 185 participants from chemistry, physics, geography, earth science, life science, mathematics. So I hope that it will serve as a fountainhead, because people from Kerala, people from Assam, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, there must be some interaction between the teaching methodology from different parts of the country. It will also introduce participants to research-based pedagogical tools that focus on the process of science rather than facts. And of course, you will get an opportunity to share our own teaching innovation. Nowadays, innovation is all skill development is also very important. So you will share your teaching innovations with their peers and experts. I am sure that all of you will enjoy this. I should always say, because we organize large number of programs for the students and other research scholars. The first time we are organizing, of course, we are organizing large number of programs under the academic staff college of the Human Resource Development Organization. But first time we are organizing such type of unique, we should say the international type of program. So I hope that you will enjoy these 3 days of exciting and enriching scientific deliberations and a great memorable stay in the capital city of Chhattisgarh. Once again, I welcome you in this beautiful program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your warm welcome. Now I request our respected registrar, Mr. Dharmesh Kumar Sahu, for his address. Now we continue, and I invite Mr. Gareth Price, Sheffield Hallam University, UK, to enlighten us by his talk on the characteristics and applications of research-based pedagogical tools. So now I invite Mr. Gareth Price.
So while Gareth is setting up, I just have a couple of things to announce. One sort of housekeeping related announcement is for those who are staying at the hotel, buses to come here will leave at 8 a.m. sharp from the hotel just outside the hotel gate. So we request you to be ready with breakfast done and ready to start the workshop. The other announcement is about some people who are here especially to meet the participants of this workshop. One is a group of participants who have attended a workshop just like this one, and also another level 2 workshop. So this is a first level workshop and another level 2 workshop on research-based pedagogical tools. And now are qualified to be trainers in other workshops at the regional level. They are all here to meet with you and interact with you. So please feel free to talk to them about what their experience has been about the workshops and how they have been able to incorporate the things that have been talked about in the workshop in their classrooms and so on. The other person who is here to meet you is from a project which is called Prof. ICSU. It's a very long name, so I'm not going to try to say the name, but this is basically a project which through which they are trying to make pedagogical tools to teach climate change better. As we all know, climate change is something that is really hanging over our heads in whatever part of the world we may be, and they are trying to make tools which we can use to teach climate change. And for this, we need your help as teachers to understand what your needs are when we make tools for you to teach climate change or other related aspects of science. So they are also, Aparna is here and you will meet her tomorrow during the workshop. So please feel free to talk about this new project as well. The other small announcement to make, especially for those of us, those who are local, those who are from Raipur, the venue for tomorrow and the next 3 days is not here, but at the Human Resource Development Center and Computer Science building, not very far within the campus, but not in this auditorium. So please be there at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you. Over to you, Gareth.
Okay, it's on. You can hear me. Good. I've already caused a lot of problems, as you can see. but over the few days you will realize that that's what we do, all of us. We come here to cause you problems. So thank you very much for inviting us. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a special pleasure to see some old friends. Well, some young friends. I am very old, but there are some young friends we've seen before. I can see you. I can see you. So it's great to come back to India. I'm going to talk for a quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. There may be time for questions afterwards. If not, if you have any questions, ask us. Don't just believe what we say, ask us, check with us. Okay, let's get started. Right, first of all, to welcome or to introduce you to the people that you'll be working with in the coming weeks. They're sitting looking very nervous at the front, but I'm going to make them stand up so that you know who you've got to go to tomorrow morning. So if you're a chemist, have we any chemists here? Chemists? Yes, chemists. Chemists to wave, and John is your man. Now, physicists, are there physicists lurking? Oh, they're always in groups. Come on, there must be more physicists. Right. Diana, our physics expert. Remember what she looks like? You'll be working with her tomorrow. Mathematicians, I'm told the house is full of mathematicians. Yes, wave at the mathematicians. Chris? Now, biologists. No to biologists? Yes, yes. Biologists are the best, aren't we? Yes, yes. So, biologists, there are two of us. So, Julie? Yay! So the biologists will be working some with Julie and some with me. Now, if I seem a bit nervous tonight, it's because my boss is here. So you have to be really nice to me and really nice to him so that he's in a good mood, so he's not nasty to me. So my boss, Stuart, stand up, wave. He will be here to talk to you. He is doing some research to find out what you understand about inquiry. So he is here to do research. The rest of us are going to be very hard at work, and Stuart will just be wandering around asking questions. Please speak to him and be nice to him, so that he's nice to me. Okay. We have one more person who's not here, who is ill, but I will introduce her tomorrow. And she is Stuart's boss, so she's very important. So you have to be very, very nice to her. Right. That's the people. What are we here to do? We're here to look at this thing called research-based pedagogical tools. Now, some of you may know what those are, some of you may not. And this short talk is about these things, research-based pedagogical tools. We're going to explore those together. We will call them RBPTs for short. At the end of our 3 days together, you lot will have produced a draft of an RBPT, something that you can use when you go back to your colleges. So we are here to make something, and you are going to make it. So if you hoped for a nice, easy few days, I have very bad news for you. You're going to be working very hard on making something. Right. There's a lot of talk about what science is. And I thought the best thing was to go to the top, to find the top man who knows about science. So I went to the president of the Royal Society in the the UK. I hope I said his name right. Venki Ramakrishnan. So this is the top man. If anyone knows what science is, he does. What does he say? Actually, science is simply the systematic accumulation of knowledge based on evidence. It's not what we know, it's what we find out. It's how we accumulate knowledge, how we gather knowledge and understanding based on evidence. If you think about it, half the stuff you teach now, 50 years ago, no one knew. In 25 years, we will know twice as much as we do now. Because science is about finding out more and more and more. It is about what we call research. So if you're not interested in research and in finding out, you're not interested in science. So, science is about research. When we train students, we're teaching them some things that we already know, and we know those things because someone has found out. So, a curriculum, the stuff we teach, it must be research developed. We're not making things up. We have to have research, gather evidence, and we know some things. And one type of curriculum, called the research developed, actually teaches stuff that we know to be true by research. These are the facts, the knowledge, the understanding. Another kind of curriculum is research orientated. There, what we teach is how to find out more. So we teach the process of research, how to find out more stuff. How many research scientists are there in India? Thousands, hundreds of thousands, all really busy, all producing new knowledge every year. Our students will become part of that group. So we might choose to teach them how to do the research. That's a research-orientated curriculum. Another model is to say, with research developed, quite often the teacher lectures or the textbooks are written and the students aren't doing any research. Another kind of curriculum is called research tutors, where we say to students, go and find out about something. Go and find out about the periodic table. Go and find out why these plants die in hot conditions. Go and find out something. And there they might discuss papers, they might write essays, they might have tutorials. And what you're expecting them to do is develop their own understanding. You're expecting a fourth one because it's a nice square. And there it is. This is research-driven. Here is where the students are actually doing their own research. Now, most schools, yes, I think it's fair to say, many schools, maybe most schools in the UK, work down here, sort of thing. I would guess it's similar in India. Most of what goes on, students are taught things, they have to memorize them, remember them, and write in an exam. In this one, the students are actually generating their own knowledge, some of which might be novel to all of us. So they might find out things that we don't know. So those are the four kind of curricula. These two, the emphasis is on content, the facts. Either they're told or they research them in papers and textbooks. These two are more about process. They're given, we're taught, we teach them how to do research, or they actually do it. But you can see there's a slight difference in emphasis. Now that's very interesting. But the really interesting thing is if you cut it the other way. Down here, you are doing all the work. The emphasis is on teacher activity. You are doing the lectures. You are setting the tests. You are marking the exams. You are organising the practicals. You are setting the homework. You are exhausted. You are working so hard. Even here, where you're trying to teach research skills, you are setting up labs. You are putting forward ideas. You are encouraging students to develop. If you look up here, there's more emphasis on student activity. So actually, this is something we need to work towards. Less hard work for teachers and more hard work for students. So they're doing more of the research, driving their own ideas forward. So when we talk about curricula, and we're going to be talking about RBPTs, we're tending to be in this area. And I'll give you a quick tip for the coming 3 days. When you're writing your RBPTs, don't ask yourself, what am I doing as the teacher? Ask yourself, what are the students doing? What are the students doing? Are the students working? Are the students doing research? Are the students thinking, putting forward ideas? Because we want to be up here. Okay, so that's where we want to go. We're going to introduce these things called research-based pedagogical tools. It's not a great name, but it's the only name we've got. So, research-based pedagogical tools, this is not something we've dreamed up. There are ideas about this from around the world. Research-based learning, you may have heard of. Problem-based learning, inquiry, project learning, science in the real world. They all have similarities to research-based pedagogical tools. What we're going to do in this workshop is explore how using research as a teaching tool, a pedagogical tool, can help to develop two things: students' research skills and also their understanding. So you're going to be making something that will keep your students busy, active, enjoying, engaged at the top end of the last slide. RBPTs are teaching tools. And we're going to look at some of the aspects of those in the coming slides. So they're not a type of research, they are ways of teaching, they are approaches to teaching. So we'll move on to that now. Well, we've got research in RBPT. So we all know what research is. We know what research is. If I find a button in my back pocket, is that research? Is that research? Yes? Oh, look. I found a card for my hotel room. Have I just done research or not? Would you, if your student said, I've done my research, sir, I've done my research, Mum, I found a card, would you be pleased? No, that's not really research. What if I ask my friend, I ask one of the traders what to do, would that be research? No, not really. Research is bigger than that. It may include that, but actually research involves a knowledge base, our understanding, our ideas of science, a lot of effort. It's not easy. It's not just going, oh, I've done some research. No, it's hard. It takes days, months, years sometimes, and it involves skill. So, in an RBPT, remember, a research-based pedagogical tool, we should look at it and be able to see research in it. So I want you to remember your first R. There are going to be 5 R's, and your first one is recognize. When you are deciding, am I using an RBPT, can you recognize research in it? That's your first R. There are many ways to teach. There is nothing wrong with a lecture. There is a lot wrong with nothing but lectures. So don't feel bad if you give lectures. There's not anything wrong with them. There's nothing wrong about practical work where people follow instructions. That's fine. But if that's all you do, that's not so good. So an RBPT, you should be able to see research in it, and an RBPT requires research to be in there. So that's the unusual thing about RBPTs. There are many ways to teach it, many ways to teach, many ways for students to learn. But if you want to have an RBPT, you must look at it and recognize research in there, and the research is an important part. The research is needed to make it work. So, RBPTs recognize, I can see the research. Require, I can see that if the research is not there, the students will not learn. It's not just that it's there, that they need to do it. There's no other way of solving the problem without that research. I'm going to leave this slide for now. So, we have some tools which you will develop. I'll look at those tools, you'll look at those tools and say, oh yeah, I can see the research. And then you'll say, yes, the research is required. There is no way to solve this problem without doing this research. If you use RBPTs, you should find that research skills are being refined. They're made better. We've all got very simple research skills. We can all find things out, even the smallest children. My children found out very early on in life how to get me to do what they wanted me to do. And any of you that are parents would probably say, yes, yes, yes. My son, my daughter is very good at making me do what he wants me to do. I think it should be the other way, but it never seems to work that way. So even as small children, they've worked out what to do. So we've all got a very simple, we're born with it, a very simple ability to do simple research. What RBPTs do is they should be structured in such a way to build that basic research. So they've got these skills, we should make them stronger and better. So if we look at the skills, they basically come in 3 lumps. Cognitive skills are about controlling variables, generating hypotheses, interpreting data, seeing the problem in scientific terms. Technical skills are how to use a laboratory safely, how to use a particular piece of kit, how not to break things. These are technical skills. And then personal skills are about learning how to keep going, even when you're very tired. Learning that it doesn't work always first time. So when something goes wrong, pick yourself up and do it again. So RBPTs, you should see this research. Research should be required, and by doing it, students' ability should be improved. They should be getting better at it. Now, if we say curriculum is important, is about students learning to do research. If we say that this teaching tool requires research, at some point we have to assess it. How well did they do? If we assess it with a simple test, where all they've got to do is remember something that they could have looked up in a textbook, then it's not an RBPT. Because they will say, why bother to do the research? Why do the effort of spending time in a lab when I can just look up the answer in the book? So when you assess their work, you must reward the research, not necessarily the outcome of it. So RBPTs, yeah, I can see the research. Yes, it's needed. Yes, I can see that students are getting better by doing it. And because of all those things, I'm going to reward that. I'm going to give them marks based on their research skills. Right, we've got 4 R's, one last one, and that is report. If you do research by yourself, that's great. If you find out something amazing, that's very good. Please share it. Please share it. Research that is not reported dies. So an RBPT requires students to develop their skills, to report what they've learned, to share their learning, as opposed to keeping it all to themselves. So we should be able to, it should look like research, we should recognize it. It should need research, it should require it. It should refine research. We should get better at it. It should reward research. If you've done well, get a mark, get a handshake. It's good. And finally, it should report research so that we all benefit. Imagine if all the scientists working across India said, I'm not going to publish. I'm not going to share what I found. What a tragedy that would be for the world. All that insight disappears. So, in the same way with your students, you need to encourage them to report their findings. That's a summary. But I want to talk to you about my shirt now. Because I know that you have been admiring my shirt. It is a very special shirt, and there is a lesson in this shirt. Now, Stuart would say that the lesson is never ever let Gareth choose your shirts, but actually it's a bigger lesson than that. I bought this shirt in Kuala Lumpur. There's a market there, and I wanted to buy a shirt, but my wife wasn't with me, so I could choose my own. It's good. And I like this one. And there was a Malaysian woman there who wanted to sell me their shirt, and we were chatting, and I said, will it fit? And she looked at me, and she said, oh yes, Westerner cut. Now, what she meant by Westerner cut was that there was plenty of room at the front for a large Western stomach. But she was short and very thin. So this is a Western cut shirt, foreigner cut. And when I said, are you saying that I'm fat? And she said, no, tall. And she really meant. So, the lesson of my shirt is that you are going to be developing RBETs. Not me, not these guys, you are going to do. So you need to make sure that they are Indian cut. They need to fit your context, your universities and colleges, your classes, your students. We've done some work and we've seen other work around the world. You can learn from our experiences, but at the end of the day, it has to match your requirements. So I've given you some theory. There'll be more throughout the coming 3 days. But remember, if there's one thing to remember from this, the RBPT must be, unlike my shirt, Indian cut. Don't write them to please us. Write them so that they're useful for your students. They fit your context. And I think I'm going to stop there. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I am Dr. Maheshwar Panda. I am from Dr. Harisingh Central School, Sagar. I am an assistant professor there. My one question I would like to ask: can you give one example of RBPT? One example in UG teaching right now. One example.
So you
In
want
UG
to
undergraduate teaching.
of an RBPT
If you want to teach a BSc student. If you want to teach a student, either a student, maybe a school student, maybe a college student, maybe a university student, can you right now give an example of an RBPT? One RBPT, give one example.
Yes and no. Yes, because aspects of RBPTs are used around the world. So the moment you ask a student a question, instead of giving them an answer. So tomorrow, we will be looking at some examples from around the world, printed sheets, where students are asked questions where they have to develop their own ideas. So there's one about looking at germination of peas. There's another one on building an incubator for a baby. There are others from physics and chemistry. I can't remember. Chemistry is like rusting. Yep. So there are examples of things where the content you need to cover is set up as a series of questions. Students develop their own ideas, test their own ideas, and then use that to develop their understanding. But the full RBPT package is quite new. It was developed 18 months, 2 years ago with India in mind. So to get all the bits in one package at the moment, not so easy. Although there are people who've been to workshops who may well be able to talk to you about their experience in developing them. If you've been to an RBPT workshop before, can you put your hand up? So you've been to an RBPT workshop. If you look around, these people may well be able to say, oh, we did something. I know I've got people over there very keen on mushrooms. So ask those people, they will have a better idea of how it's worked out for them.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Very good impressive thought, sir. My basic fundamental question, clarification is, this research-based pedagogical tools applying the classrooms, I think more infrastructure is necessary, I think. Research-based means if you explain a theoretical concept with the research-based, means with the research experimental tools. So we have already had a few lab courses, but for every concept, for every theoretical concept, we teach with the research-based pedagogical tools. I think more infrastructure necessary. Country like India, it is very difficult. I think this is my doubt only. Maybe within during the course of time, the course, I will be understand the main basic doubt.
I think if I understand what you're saying correctly, is that you can have practical work and students learn stuff by doing work in the laboratory, chemical techniques that they use. And that's fine, and we should continue doing that. What you might do is say, right, this is the procedure for using this piece of equipment. You cannot make that up because you will break it. You know, read the manual. If you have the technique for using that piece of kit or doing that test, imagine you're doing tests on nitrate pollution in water courses. So you have to teach them how to do this, and then you say, rather than go to this river and this pond and this stream and take samples, whether you'll make all the decisions, say, well, your local area, where do you think nitrate pollution is worse? Right, go and gather evidence to check that. You know how to do the tests. I'm not telling you where to do the tests. But when you've done that, I want you to tell me why in that particular stream there's a lot of nitrate and it's dangerous. In this particular stream, there's not much nitrate. So you've left them with a problem. There isn't a textbook about your streams in your town, in your city, in your village. But there is a textbook on how to test the nitrate. So you've taken a procedure and turned it into a research project by giving them a problem that requires them to go out and do some research. Okay, does that help?
Hello, Gareth. Hello, Gareth. Nice to see you again. Just a quick comment to add with the Gareth and the two questions what was asked from the audience. We have attended the RBPT workshop for level 1 and 2. I want to assure you all of them that it has changed our perspective, thinking how the RBPT works. And those who are here in the audience, they will realize over the period of 3 days that there are many things. As you said, there is we need a lot of infrastructure. But I will promise, or I will see that we will give our own examples. There are a lot of things you can do without infrastructure also. So this RBPT will really help. And thanks to Gareth that we attended all these things, and our perspective has changed.
So don't believe me, believe him. Well, one more question? One more question? Time for one more? One more, quickly. Yes. They're always on the opposite sides of the room, aren't they? Always.
Well, maybe I'll get the answer for my question post attending this training, because just now one of the trainer who has already been trained has given a positive answer. So, but I just want to ask you a question, so I'm asking. Before your lecture or while going on, you said that you have to, like we as a teacher, have to identify the need of our students. But right now we do not know what is their need. We feel that whatever they are teaching today is good because students are learning, they are getting good marks, and they are performing well. Why do we have to learn this RBPT? Yes, of course, I want to learn, that is why I am here. But still, that big question is in my mind. Why?
I think if I could solve all teachers' problems, I would not be here. I would be in one of my 27 houses around the world, probably on a beach. So RBPTs will not solve your problems. When a student says, I really hate this, I'm not interested, why should I bother? Smile, because every teacher in the world has had exactly the same comment from someone. One of the ways in which RBPTs can work, and there is quite a lot of educational research about this, is that when you give students the chance to do things for themselves, they become more motivated. When they're doing jobs for you, I need you to cover periodic table. I need you to cover, or the exam needs you to cover the bones in the human body, or Ohm's law, or the theory of relativity. That's not very interesting to students. If students there can be space for students to say, well, the stream near my village, it really smells. Okay, find out why. Now, you can't do this all the time, and it's not the solution to every problem. Otherwise, I would not be here. But you will find, and there's a lot of research on this, the more choices you give to students, and it's not a case of giving them all choices immediately, but the more freedom you give them, the more autonomy you give them, the more motivated they become. Not because you've found something that's really interesting for them, but because they've been allowed to choose something that they find interesting. So I think you've got to be brave, and it won't work every time, but the more choice or autonomy you can give to students, the better it becomes. And when it doesn't work, have a rest and have another go. That's research. Okay? Enough? I could go on for a long time, I warn you, so you must go now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gareth, for your thought-provoking and wonderful talk. I also believe on the research-based teaching. So now, I invite another coordinator of the workshop, Professor Sanjay Tiwari, to propose a vote of thanks.
A very good evening. I deem it a great pleasure to have been asked to propose this vote of thanks on this important occasion to conclude this inaugural ceremony. The very presence of our Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor S.K. Pandey, who is the chief guest of this program, in spite of his very busy schedule, he is with us, which is very inspiring for all of us. And he has been the driving force behind this whole program. His vision, interest, and leadership is once again going to culminate in another successful event. Thank you, sir. On behalf of Pandit Ravi Shankar Shukla University, I convey deep regards and appreciation to the guest of honor, Mr. Gareth Price and Dr. Devanjan Chakravarti, who is Director of British Council, and all the resource persons, the mentors, experts who have raised this occasion with their gracious presence here today and travelled a long distance from the University of Sheffield Hallam, UK. We understand that you all have taken time out of your very important schedule to contribute to this workshop. Thanks to Gareth for this wonderful presentation and for sharing with us your vision of education to match the best in the world. We are thankful to Professor L. Shashidhara, the celebrated biologist and Deputy Director of IISc Pune, who is known for his passion for innovation in teaching profession, for extending this opportunity to our Ravi Shankar Shukla University to host this event. My special thanks to Dr. Purva Barbe, the coordinator of Center of Excellence in Science and Mathematics Education, IISc Pune, for providing a stimulating environment here for educational development and continuously monitoring this event. I also wish to express my sincere thanks to our endearing, dynamic and progressive Registrar Shri Ramesh Sahu for his constant support and our guidance. The Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, the British Council, Newton Bhabha Fund have provided the financial resources. This ensured smooth organization of this workshop. We wish to thank them for their assistance and acknowledge their support. Special thanks to Ms. Shilpa Jain from IISc Pune, who has been instrumental in organization of this event, Dr. Shruti Jain of Newton Bhabha Fund, Purti Kohli and Arjita Sanyal from British Council for their valuable support in this event. We thank all the participants participants, learned faculty members of prestigious institutions from different corners of the country for participating in this unique workshop. This reflects your commitment for the profession. What is decided here would have direct implications for your future, and the interest and enthusiasm you have shown is indeed a good sign for future. Hearty thanks to Dr. Sengupta, our dynamic librarian, for online webcasting arrangement of this program. My special and hearty thanks to all teachers, especially the research scholars, students, faculty members, and supporting staff of chemistry department, renewable energy department, and computer science for their support, dedication, teamwork, and untimely efforts both in foreground and background. You all deserve congratulations for a job well done. I sincerely thank the university engineer and all the members of engineering section, finance section, and administrative machinery of the university for their valuable and timely support. My sincere thanks to the print and electronic media for their presence and giving excellent coverage to this workshop. Thank you all very much. Tomorrow the bus will be ready at the hotel park at 8 o'clock, and our session will start sharply at 9 o'clock. So you are all requested to get ready at 8 o'clock, and there is a provision for tea outside this hall. You all are welcome for this tea.